Did you know that Luke Skywalker was originally named Luke Skykiller? A moonbow is a rainbow produced by moonlight. I've seen these. Check it out if you're interested in seeing something cute. A Chihuahua and a Dachshund mix is called a Chiweenie. I actually checked this out at one time, and they are adorable. They look so frigging weird, but they're really cute. I guess you call them designer dogs. They're not mutts, they're designer dogs. Designer dogs can go for quite a big price because what it is people design these dogs with certain breeds in mind. And people are addicted to the personality of designer dogs. For example, a cockapoodle. People are they're addicted to the personality of the and appearance of the poodle and the cocker spaniel as it's mixed. The sound of Darth Vader's difficult breathing was made with a scuba regulator. That's it. You know, they also say right here in this fact retriever site that there are absolutely no seagulls in Hawaii. Respair, R-E-S-P-A-I-R, is a real word, and it was coined in the 15th century, and it was to describe fresh hope or recovery from despair. Raccoons have 4 times more sensory cells in their paws than most other animals. This allows the raccoon to see with their hands and get images from the object they touch without even looking at them. So how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're going to have a nice evening. Welcome to Night Talk. We're going to go through a bunch of facts. We're going to tell you about some stories and maybe some news of the day. After all, Wednesday is the big day. And I'm really interested in this UFO hearing. And I'm very proud of our Congress, too. I mean, they're really putting on a strong front. And I'm serious. It's very empowering, to see that, whether you like the topic or not of the UFO or the UAP. I'm an old-fashioned person, so I'm going to be using UFOs when we talk about it. But I'm kind of interested in that. I really am. The only thing, like I said, I'm not really interested in is Roswell. Roswell, I don't really know if I believe in it too much or not, because Roswell basically, when you think about it, was it real or not? Okay. Was Roswell real? I mean, the war ended and we picked up some paperclip scientists from Germany. And, if you're familiar with it, you know that Germany was already working on saucers. They were already working on that. So if we grabbed the saucer, if we grabbed any paperclip scientists from Germany who were working on saucers, of course we're going to take them over to where we always develop our shit, and that's the, excuse me, excuse me, you too, the desert. Where we test everything. When we test our weapons, especially the weapons of flight, it's always in the desert. So Roswell's in the desert. And it's happened in 1947, 2 years after we, welcomed Germany's paperclip scientists into our world to help us develop our own rockets and flying. I guess you would call them weapons or whatever. I don't know, saucers. And so I really believe that it's too much of a coincidence that we would have a flight. I think Roswell was actually one of ours. I do. I think it was one of ours that crashed, and I wouldn't be surprised. Any of you who are into the UFO, just casually, I love the UFO study, but I'm not I'm not brilliant like Richard Dolan or other people. I just read what they put out. And when I go over all that, it seems like there's always, with UFOs, 1 minute an apple is an apple, the next minute an apple's an orange, and the next minute an apple's back to being an apple again. In other words, there always seems to be confusion, chaos, and then, making fun of people who actually have seen them. It's always seemed to be that pattern. So, when I was looking at Roswell, I'm like, this looks like one of ours that crashed. And who knows? Maybe to prevent our enemies from knowing that we had this type of technology or were working on saucers, they may have actually invented it's aliens, which really causes a lot of confusion, which really caused a lot of mess, which really caused a lot of people asking questions. And, the truth never could really come out amidst all of that. All of that alien talk and all that stuff. The last thing they're going to be thinking about is America was really developing saucers back in the 1940s from its paperclip scientists. Hey, JPL, read about the history of JPL. And we made a lot of our advancements because of the German mindset, the German scientists, Because if you read about a lot of things about German, I would have to say there's a lot of stuff that you might not believe. It's okay. When you first research into all of this history of German, or Nazi, I should say, Nazi, history of making weaponry, there's a lot of stuff that you take it personally. You decide what you want to believe or what you don't want to believe. But there's one thing that they did have. There's one thing that the Nazi scientists did have, and they were open to anything. Their minds, they didn't walk in and say, oh, that's impossible, that's this. From what I was gathering, if somebody said they were channeling an alien and this is what you do, they did it. That's one of the, I think, at least that's what I gathered from it. German or Nazi scientists back in the day, they were just open to everything. They didn't look like a lot of scientists today probably would look if you were to tell them, hey, somebody just channeled, an alien species to develop a, saucer. They would probably say you're nuts. But it seemed like back in Nazi days, somebody walked in and said that, they were right there. And they said, really? Let's try it. And I think that was a lot of the reasons for their success. Anyway, if in case you're interested in that, you should go take a look at it. It's an interesting history. But yeah, that's my belief on Roswell anyway. I don't believe it's real. I believe it was one of ours that crashed. And I actually believe that there's no harm. I think the universe, if you believe in that, is full of all types of, I'm going to cut right there. I heard a kitty cat using the thing.
For centuries, the human race has looked up to space and wondered not only what is out there, but who. It's a question that has long been written in American history, and tonight all the events are taking on a new focus because until now, many of these stories were relegated to tabloids at the grocery store checkout aisle. Now, the debate over UFOs has made it to the halls of Congress, and it couldn't be more serious. News Nation's Kelly Meyer joins us now with more questions on this big hearing that's happening on Wednesday, an historic hearing, only the second since 1968. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Elizabeth, a lot of interest in this hearing, and I'm told lawmakers are looking for transparency here. They had a hearing before, but some of that was partially behind closed doors and nothing like what we're going to hear from those witnesses on Wednesday. Members of this committee want to get as much information out to the public as possible so that the American public can walk away with some answers.
Capitol Hill swirling with questions about UFOs, and a historical hearing could reveal secrets the military has reportedly been keeping under wraps.
We're over the target. They know it. They've got something to hide. and they continue to do it.
Republican lawmakers leading the charge to find out what's out there and why it's been so closely guarded.
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
A News Nation exclusive interview with a UFO whistleblower spurring interest in the topic. David Grush will be testifying Wednesday after sharing that he believes the U.S. government has for decades recovered non-human craft with non-human species inside.
We need to find answers because at the end of the day, these are activities should never be unsupervised. Anytime agencies of the federal government are unsupervised and do whatever they want, it's generally not a good outcome for the country.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio, vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, has previously told News Nation that high-ranking U.S. government officials have firsthand knowledge of a secret Pentagon crash retrieval program. His right-hand man on Senate Intel, Virginia Democrat Mark Warner, told reporters he's interested to hear what is said in Wednesday's hearing and that they should treat every whistleblower with seriousness and respect. The rare hearing sparking an even more rare occurrence in Washington, bringing members of both sides of the aisle together.
If the answers are there are no unidentified aerial phenomenon, then say that. But that's not what the answers are. The answers are we can't tell you.
And I'm told there is high interest in this hearing, phones ringing off the hook since the news of this hearing came out. Then the hearing room really can't fit all of the people that want to attend in person. So the offices are actually telling folks to stay home and tune in online. Elizabeth.
All right. Kelly Meyer, thanks so much.
Thanks so
We're going to close out tonight's version of Night Talk, where we try to talk you to sleep, by reading you this public domain story by Isaac Asimov called Youth. And it's at the mgheron.com website in case you want to check it out for yourself. Here we go. They're explaining right here that it's in public domain, just for anybody that's a fan of Asimov and you want to make sure. So here we go. Youth by Isaac Asimov. There was a spatter of pebbles against the window, and the youngster stirred in his sleep. Another, and he was awake. He sat up stiffly in bed. Seconds passed while he interpreted his strange surroundings. He wasn't in his own home, of course. This was out of the country. It was colder than it should be, and there was green at the window. Slim! The call was hoarse, urgent whisper, and the youngster bounded to the open window. Slim wasn't his real name, but the new friend he had met the day before had needed only one look at his slight figure to say, "You're Slim." He added, "I'm Red." Red wasn't his real name either, but its appropriateness was obvious. They were friends instantly, with the quick, unquestioning friendship of young ones not yet quite in adolescence, before even the first stains of adulthood began to make their appearance. Slim cried, "Hi, Red," and waved cheerfully, still blinking the sleep out of himself. Red kept to his croaking whisper, "Quiet! You want to wake somebody?" Slim noticed all at once that the sun scarcely topped the low hills in the east, that the shadows were long and soft, and that the grass was wet. Slim said more softly, What's the matter?" Red only waved for him to come out. Slim dressed quickly, gladly converting his morning wash to the momentary sprinkle of a little lukewarm water. He let the air dry the exposed portions of his body as he ran out, while bare skin grew wet against the dewy grass. Red said, "You've got to be quiet. If Mom wakes up, or Dad, or your dad, or even any of the hands, then it'll be..." Come on in, or you'll catch your death of cold. He mimicked the voice and tone faithfully, so that Slim laughed, and thought that there had never been so funny a fellow as Red. Slim said eagerly, "Do you come out here every day like this, Red? Real early? It's like the whole world is just yours, isn't it, Red? No one else around and all like that." He felt proud at being allowed entrance into this private world. Red stared at him sidelong. He said carelessly, "I've been up for hours." "Didn't you hear it last night?" "Hear what?" "Thunder. There was a thunderstorm." Slim never slept through a thunderstorm. "I guess not. But there was thunder, I heard it. And then I went to the window, and it wasn't raining. It was all stars, and the sky was getting sort of almost gray. You know what I mean?" Slim had never seen it so, but he nodded. "So I just thought I'd go out," said Red. They walked along the grassy side of concrete road that split the panorama right down the middle, all the way down to where it vanished among the hills. It was so old that Red's father couldn't tell Red when it had been built. It didn't have a crack or a rough spot on it. Red said, "Hey, can you keep a secret?" "Sure, Red. What kind of secret?" Just a secret." "Maybe I'll tell you, and maybe I won't. I don't know yet." Red broke a long and supple stem of a fern they passed, methodically stripped it of its leaflets, and swung what was left in a whip-like fashion. For a moment he was a wild charger, which reared and champed under his iron control. Then he got tired, tossed the whip aside, and stowed the charger away in the corner of his imagination for future use. He said, "There'll be a circus around." Slim said, "That's no secret. I knew that. Dad told me even before we came here." "That's not the secret." "Fine secret. Ever see a circus?" "Oh, sure. You bet." "Like it?" "Say, there isn't anything I like better." Red was watching out of the corner of his eyes again. "Ever think you would like to be with a circus? I mean, for good." Slim considered. "I guess not. I think I'd be an astronomer like my dad. I think he wants me to be." "Astronomer," said Red. Slim felt the doors of the new private world closing on him, and astronomy became a thing of dead stars and black, empty space. He said placatingly, "A circus would be more fun." "You're just saying that." "No, I'm not. I mean it." Red grew argumentative. "Suppose you had a chance to join the circus right now. What would you do?" "See?" Red affected scornful laughter. Slim was stung up. "I'd join up." "Go on. Try me." Red whirled at him, strange and intense. "You mean that? You don't want to go in with me?" "What do you mean?" Slim stepped back a bit, surprised by the unexpected challenge. "I got something that can get us into the circus. Maybe someday we can have a circus of our own. We could be the biggest circus fellows in the world. That's if you want to go in with me. Otherwise, well, I guess I can do it on my own. I just thought, let's give good old Slim a chance." The world was strange and glamorous, and Slim said, "Sure thing, Red. I meant, what is it? Tell me what it is. Figure it out. What's the most important thing in circuses?" Slim thought desperately. He wanted to give the right answer. Finally he said, Acrobats? Holy smokes. I wouldn't go 5 steps to look at acrobats. I don't know then. Animals. That's what. What's the best sideshow? Where are the biggest crowds? Even in the main rings, the best acts are animal acts. There was no doubt in Red's voice. Do you think so? Everyone thinks so. You ask anyone. I found animals this morning, 2 of them. And you've got them? Sure. That's a secret. Are you telling? Of course not. Well, folks, that's end of part 1. We'll carry on again in our next video. Have a good night's sleep. Enjoy life. And have a blessed day tomorrow. Good night.